Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Keeping Fish Simple. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a full fish room tour. Now, I do these about every month, and this is probably going to be maybe the last time I do a fish room tour in this fish room. I'm moving into a brand new one, so we're completely stocked up. We've got a bunch of cool stuff, some stuff that you guys haven't seen before, a bunch of new really cool rare fish. Basically, I've been stockpiling a lot of really cool stuff so that I get it all growing up before I can breed it out in my new fish room, because my new fish room is going to be a breeding facility. So anyways, without further ado, let's go have a look at the 8 tanks that I have in this room. Okay, so here is the fish room at the moment. Now we're going to start off this tour like we always do. We're going to look at the 6 tanks that are in this room. So these are 2 2-foots, 2 more 2-foots, 2 big 4-foots, and then we're going to go to the other room where there's a 2-foot and then a little fry tank. So we'll start off over at this aquarium. Now hopefully the glare is not too bad, because it is during the day and sometimes the glare can be a little bit bad, but this is my 80-litre Apistogramma tank, and this also has some brand new gold laser Corydoras which are in here. There's 8 of them, and there is also some L397 Pinaculus Plecos. So these guys are a brand new addition. These are some gold lasers. I picked up 8 of these guys this week. You guys can see they are just looking super cool. So they are very small at the moment, but hopefully in the next, I don't know, maybe by the end of this year, these guys will start to be breeding for me. So at the moment, I'm just collecting a ton of stuff for my brand new fish room that's coming along, and basically trying to get a head start on growing out some of this stuff, because this stuff does take quite a long time to start breeding. But I mean, when these guys start to breed, they just start churning out tons and tons of eggs. So I'll be able to make a lot of these guys and supply Australia with quite a few of these guys. So hopefully they'll be on the store in the next, I don't know, 12 months. I'll have some of these guys available. But out the back, you guys can see Diesel, my Apistogramma male. He was the first one I got. He's chilling out the back, and there's also his female somewhere in this massive mess of Bacopa and Java fern and all that kind of stuff. It's like a huge jungle of driftwood, and there's a couple of pieces of Anubias and stuff like that. But you guys can see this is a sand substrate, and this is a very dirty tank. Now, I'm not too worried about it, because it is a very easy tank to take care of, because there's just so many plants, and it's very cycled, but it is quite dirty. And it's not a problem, it just, I mean, it doesn't look the best. So the female's back there, and you can see Diesel's just starting to come out now. But there's also, like I said, some of these tiger plecos here. So you guys can see the bottom of one in here. There's 10 of these guys in here. Sometimes they're very hard to find. There's one underneath this piece of driftwood, you guys can see. He's just chilling under there. So this aquarium is a very nice aquarium, and I'm going to be sad to take this one down, but at the moment the main goal of this aquarium is to keep Diesel alive, keep his girlfriend alive, grow out some of these beautiful plecos, which you guys can see. He just looks really cool, but he's hiding in the dark, which is very annoying, and get some of these beautiful gold laser Corydoras to a good size where they're going to start to lay eggs for me. So very happy with this aquarium. And moving on down into this aquarium, this is another funny little aquarium, and this is the same size as the one above. It's 80 litres, and it has 8 of my Peruvian Altum angels in here. So in the last video on this channel, you guys would have seen me picking these guys up. Yes, they are very fat at the moment, and I shouldn't be feeding them that much, but it doesn't really have that many bad implications. They just get a little bit bloated. So I'm still trying to learn how to feed these guys properly, but we've got 8 of these guys in here, and in the last video, I asked you guys what you thought they were. They are definitely not true Altums, I believe. I didn't pay enough for them to be true Altums. They're Peruvian Altums, so they're actually a scalaire, I'm pretty sure. They're not a true Altum, so they don't get super large, but there's 8 of them in here, and they are also growing out to be bred in the future in my new fish room. But in here we have 10 of these L134 Leopard Frog Pleco Fry. They're about 2 years away from breeding, and these are another bloodline to the bloodline I have in the other room. You guys can see these guys are a lot more active. They come out quite a bit now. When I first got them, they were very shy, but nowadays they come out, they're not too scared of me, and they just chill out and, you know, eat some of this algae wafer. They eat some of the Hikari sinking pellets and all that kind of stuff, and they absolutely love it. But in here we also up the back have some Similis Quarries. So these are a very cool Cory. These are also growing out. These were some juveniles that I picked up a couple of weeks ago, and these guys are sometimes called a smudge Cory. So at the back of their tail is like a bit of a smudge, and that actually goes like a bit purple or blue over time and as they become more comfortable in an aquarium. So I'm really keen to start seeing these guys get super big and to obviously try and breed these guys. There's a lot of money sitting in this aquarium and this aquarium up above with these gold lasers that I keep moving around. So hopefully we get some breeding going on in the next, I don't know, 12 months or so, and start supplying some of you guys on YouTube and some other fish stores around Australia with some really, really beautiful fish that I've, you know, spent a lot of time caring for and I'm hoping to get future generations of. So moving on over to this rack, you guys can see a super overstocked aquarium and a super dirty aquarium. We're going to start off with the overstocked aquarium. So for the last, I don't know how long, for quite a long time, this has been used as an angelfish grow out tank. Now, I'm just about to literally, after this video is done recording, take some of these guys to the fish store, and it'll probably be my last batch for a very, very long time before the new fish room is up and pumping out more of these guys. So these are koi angelfish fry, and you guys can see some of the, you know, throwouts from, you know, where they were bred from originally. So you guys can see like these blushing angels. These were obviously what they used to create the beautiful koi angel, which you can see right there in the middle of the screen. But I love feeding these guys. I mean, you put your hand up to the top of the aquarium and they all come up, and there's obviously a few little dwarf neon rainbow fish fry that are just like spare and they've just snuck into this aquarium. And there's also like an army of bristlenose plecos in this aquarium, which are also going to be moved out after this video is done recording. So a pretty funny aquarium. I mean, you do see quite often people breeding up huge amounts of angelfish, and this isn't as bad as it was. In the last video, there was like tons of these guys. There was an unbelievable amount in here, and it's been taking a lot of maintenance to keep this thing clean and keep all the angelfish happy, because I don't have automatic water changes yet. In the new fish room, we're going to have automatic water changes, and it's going to be an absolute lifesaver. But for the moment, we're just going to have to deal with manual, and it has been a chore. So I'm really, really keen to get out of this fish room and start using, you know, better facilities. But that's for this tank. And then moving on down, we have a bit of a funny aquarium again. I mean, they're all a bit funny at the moment. They're very, very overstocked, and I've got way too much stuff. But in here we have some Apistogramma grow out. So you guys can see a beautiful male right in the middle of the screen and a couple of females around him. We've also got some neon Tetras in this aquarium. These guys are left over from the breeding series I did, and if you guys want to watch that breeding series, there'll be like a link up in the top right hand corner of this video. And then in here we also have two different types of Corydoras. So you guys can see these are orange Venezuelan Corydoras, which I picked up this week, and they're going in quarantine. I mean, everything in this fish room is currently in quarantine until they're in the brand new room. And then we also have some black Venezuelan Corydoras, which are down here. You guys can see there's one right there. And yeah, this is like a very, very dirty aquarium at the moment. It's just gone through a water change and there's tons of soot in the water. It doesn't affect the fish, it just doesn't look the best. Also in here, there are some L201 Orinoco Angel Plecos, which you guys can see right there. In the middle of the screen, they hide quite a bit in this driftwood, so they don't come out very, very often, and they're hard to record. And there are also in here some L270 chocolate zebra plecos, so they're not going to come out either, but you guys can see there's some of the black Venezuelan Quarries. You know, for a really bland fish, I actually really like these guys a lot because I'm a colorblind person, so a lot of those fish with those big blues and greens and stuff like that, I can't see too well, but these black Quarries I can see perfectly fine. So I actually love this aquarium at the moment. I mean, it's really, really well balanced out at the moment. I mean, there's enough fish in here and enough plants to keep it all together and sturdy. And yeah, everything in here is just growing out until it gets into the new fish room where it can be bred or grown up further to get sold. You guys can expect to see some more of these beautiful Apistogrammas up on the website soon. And then coming over to this classic 55-gallon aquarium, we have the original koi angels, and we have a bunch of other random stuff in this aquarium. So at the moment, you guys can see the plants have grown tremendously well. It's like insanely densely packed. There's like an eBay light, which is been, you know, doing all the hard work and making all these plants grow. And there's 6 of these albino Quarries, you know, the classic Corydoras. We've got some Apistogrammas, which I have saved for my future generations in here. So there's some double reds. This is a double red female. And there's also some orange flash in here, which I cannot see right now. We also might have some breeding going on. There's 2 pairs of angelfish in here, which are, you know, waiting to be put into the new fish room where they're going to be bred, you know, more efficiently than what they are now. There's an Apistogramma male up the back there, but these are the original breeders for all of the angelfish, which you can see in this aquarium. So, you know, quite a lot of effort has gone into making a ton of those angelfish, and, you know, I've had these for quite a long time, and I'm really happy with them and how they look. I mean, I'd like to have a little bit more yellow, but in my future generations, I'm going to be breeding out some of that white on them and getting a bit more yellow. I'd really like to try and do that. But there's also a ton of my bigger bristlenose plecos, which are going to be used in my new fish room for breeding. They're just sitting in here at the moment and, you know, putting on size and just kind of on stall until they're ready to be moved into the new fish room. And then coming on down to an aquarium, which last time you saw it probably was covered in, you know, green water or whatever. Now this aquarium has balanced out, and this is another 4-foot aquarium. In here we have my colony of blue star endlers, which I've been breeding for quite a number of years to get that double tail, which you guys can see. And we've been super successful with that, and now they're almost got the double tail. And we've just done that through culling. We've got some koi angels, which I have saved for my future generation for the new fish room. You guys can see I've picked out the most golden and yellow ones possible. So there's some beautiful yellow on that male there. And you guys can see some of these females as well have amazing color. So hopefully these guys will be breeding and we'll get tons and tons of yellow fish instead of dull and uncolored black and white fish. But there's also a huge swarm of our rainbow fish in here, and these are beautiful. I bred up most of these guys from, I don't know, maybe 6 or so parents. And they're doing really well in here. They're super active, super healthy. And they're also at the moment on stall for the new fish room. But also in the back, we've got 3 of the 6 stir-by Quarries, which I picked up this week for the new fish room. They're going to be used in future breeding. They're pretty much ready to go. So the second I get into the fish room, these guys are going to be probably pumping out some eggs for me and, you know, making me some fry to sell to you guys. So very happy with this aquarium. By the way, I have no clue what this plant is. I've called it microswords in the past. I don't believe it's dwarf sage. I have no clue what it is. I picked it up in a little culture kit, like a gel culture, and it just grew into this huge carpet over time, and I have absolutely no idea what it is. So when I sell it on the website in a couple of months, I'm going to call it the mysterious carpeting plant. I honestly, I have no clue what it is. People have said, you know, it's going to be dwarf sage, but you're not legally allowed to keep dwarf sage in Australia, so I have absolutely no idea what it is. That's what's happening in this room, so let's move on to the next room. In this room, we have a couple of tanks which also are not doing much at the moment except for serving as growing out tanks. So we've got another bloodline of Plecos rainbows up the back, which you guys can see. I've kept these guys so that I can mix my bloodlines and, you know, make better fish and not inbreed stuff if I don't have to. So they're up the back. There's also some Corydoras julii, which are actually, I don't know how to say it, trinity, blah, 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 whatever. I'll list it up on the screen, but I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce that. Most of the juliis which we see aren't actually juliis, and they're actually this species. And it's not a problem. I absolutely love how the species looks, and they, you know, I've got 8 of them in this aquarium for future breeding, and they look really good. There's also 8 panda Corydoras in here, but, you know, the one that takes the cake are these Leopard frog Plecos. There's 8 of these guys in here, and these guys are a separate bloodline to the ones in the other room. So hopefully in the next couple of years, I'll be breeding these guys with the ones in the other room and creating some beautiful fish to sell to you guys. But there's not a lot happening in this aquarium. For the most part, everything in here kind of gets skittish when I come into the room, and then when I look from afar, it's really active. So like all these fish in here, the Corydoras stop moving, the Plecos go and hide, and especially the dwarf neon rainbows go and hide too. They're very skittish fish, but these guys are starting to put on some real good size. I've been really happy with these guys. Comment down below if you guys think these guys are getting bigger. I've definitely noticed this guy here, he's huge compared to what he was when I first picked him up a couple of months ago. So very happy with how everything's growing out in this aquarium. I bought 9 of these L134s at the start, and I've only lost 1. So I think it was a runt, I'm not too sure, but these are inexpensive fish. I'm not looking forward to losing any more if I don't have to. So very happy with this aquarium at the moment. And then moving down, we have a very boring aquarium. This has just got some little baby Apistogramma fry which are growing out. These were like the batch that I used for my breeding series. You guys can see there's about 80 or so of these guys in here. And at the moment, they're just growing out until they are ready to be sold in a couple more months. Not a lot happening in that aquarium, but that's all the aquariums at the moment. I think in the next fish room tour, hopefully we're going to be in, you know, the new fish room with, you know, 68 tanks instead of 8, and it'll be like a way longer video, but there'll be a ton of cool stuff to show you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.